Okay, so we're here once again in Sword Factory X, and today we're going to be going over basically how to get the maximum amount of luck possible in the game in every different aspect. So overall there's more or less two different types of luck in this game, one that basically affects your ascender and your machine, and one that affects the boss spawns. Now I've gone over the boss spawns one multiple times before, so I'll only just go over it quickly in this video. But basically what you need to do is have multiple accounts in one server, as well as having them at a higher level, or as high level as possible. So basically if you have a server full of if you have a server just with one person in it, that's like a level 5, you're going to have no total server luck whatsoever. However, if you have a server full of level 300s and above, you're going to have tons of server luck, and in that way basically that is the best way to get the most amount of server luck. And the thing about the total server luck, it only depends on the boss spawns, and it does not affect the machine or the ascender whatsoever. So make sure that you aren't looking at this number and thinking, oh, this is a good server for my ascender to be in, because you can be in a VIP with literally 1% server luck, and your ascender is going to work the exact same way as a server with like 5,000 times luck basically. So yeah, that's basically what the server luck does and how that's affected basically. So just quickly going over it again, you want high level players in the game, and basically the full server to be full of high level players for the best possible server luck. And yeah, now we're moving on to probably the more important bit, and that is for the ascender and your machines. So basically what affects the ascender and the machines the most is obviously the machine levels, as you can see over here. So obviously the higher the machine levels, the higher luck you're going to have overall with both your ascender and also your machine. Now one thing to note is the fact that your ascender is only affected by the levels of the machine and not actually the machine settings. Look in here, as you can see, if I was to set this up now to 128 times, the ascender is not going to be any better than it was with 1 times luck basically. So the ascender is only affected by the level and not actually the luck that's set on your machines. And yeah, that's basically one way obviously to get your luck up, is to just basically round it up as high as you can. Obviously as well, every time you prestige you do get a luck boost and the ascender luck boost as well, so make sure you are prestiging as much as you can while still keeping your machines as high level as you can, just to give yourself that nice little extra boost. And as well, when you do come to prestige, as you can see, just make sure that you are prestiging on the thing that you want to actually upgrade. So as you can see here, for this it will upgrade my molder luck prestige to another 510%, which is really good. But obviously then that's not going to affect my polisher, my classifier or anything. It's only going to affect my molder, because that's the one that I'm prestiging basically. So yeah, moving on again, we have basically the event luck, I guess you can say. In the bottom left hand corner you'll see there's these different types of luck down here. We've got the weekend luck and the update luck as well. So basically to get weekend luck you need to play between Friday and Sunday, and when you play during those times, that is obviously when you get the weekend luck, because that's the weekend, kind of self-explanatory. And then for update luck, you basically need to play the game after an update has happened. Now usually this update luck lasts between 2 to 4 days usually, mostly 3 days, as you can see down here it's just under like 3 days now. So basically to get both of these to happen, you more or less need the game to update on the weekend, and in that way you're going to get the maximum amount of event luck. So yeah, you need to be kind of lucky in real life, just for the fact that the devs need to update the game at the right time basically. But yeah, to get the maximum amount of luck, you want the devs to update the game on a Friday, just so then you're going to get the maximum amount of time of both the weekend luck and the update luck together, just to get that extra boost on top of everything overall. So obviously, yeah, that's basically a really good thing as well. So make sure that you are playing every weekend, just so the fact that you do get the weekend luck anyways. And if you're lucky enough, if we're all lucky enough basically, we'll also have the update luck as well to go with it, which gives us a nice boost. And one thing to note as well is this weekend luck and the update luck does affect both the machine and the ascender. So that is why you need to play on the weekend, just so then you're going to get more upgrades going on in your ascender way easier. And if I go ahead real quick and just kind of like reset my boards to the ascender again, as you can see right now for my diamond level in the ascender, it is 1 in 83,000, which is way less than what it's usually at, because usually when it's no event luck whatsoever I'm sitting at like 1 in 200,000. So as you can see, it's more than half the chance at this point now, so it means it's going to be a way easier chance to get this thing basically whilst you're playing on the weekend with the update look. So make sure basically as soon as this video goes out, you're playing this game the whole weekend just to get that massive extra boost out of your game. Now, obviously that's not the only way to get luck as well. You can boost your luck even further by using boosts. So if you come into the shop over here, and as you can see down here, if you come down to the boosts like so, here is the third option, it's the ×2 luck boost, and you can buy this for 270 Robux, or you can buy it for 1,800 gems. Now it is quite expensive, however it can be worth it when it comes to actually getting things, because if you're lucky enough, you can maybe get something that's even worth more than those gems in terms of trading. So say I was to buy this luck boost right now, I might be lucky enough then to get like an exotic out of my machine or something, and that way then I'm basically getting my gems back, as well as probably getting even more profit on top of that as well, because I know exotics sell for like 6,000 gems and above. So it's definitely worth buying this luck boost if you feel like you're lucky enough, and obviously if you're like me who have quite a lot of gems right now to spare around, I could just go ahead and buy one of these boosts, use it like so, and boom, we now have another 30 minutes of ×2 luck. And I do believe as well this also affects the ascender, so as we can see, quickly just refreshing this over right now, I don't think it's quite updated yet, but yeah, I'm pretty positive that should affect the ascender, and if not, it still does affect the machine anyways. And as you can see now, for me getting a diamond out of my machine is only 1 in 15,000, and for an opal, which is something that usually takes like a 1 in 1 million chance for me to get, is currently sitting at a 1 in 108,000, which is way easier than it would be normally. So right now we're more or less sitting on the maximum amount of luck that we can possibly get. Now there's only one way to get more luck out of this, and that is obviously if we're lucky enough basically. There is a chance to get 3 times update luck from the devs. Now obviously it does depend on whether they feel like giving it us or not. Obviously every time we get 3 times luck, everyone's going to start getting some really good things, so 3 times luck is definitely very rare to get from the devs. However, it can happen sometimes, so make sure you do keep your eye out for that, and make sure you do play every single update just to get this update luck anyways. But yeah, the fact that right now, even for uranium is easier than what I have gotten before for opal, means that right now I've gotten a fairly decent chance to get a uranium sword, maybe even a sulfur sword if I'm lucky enough. If we come over here now to the rarity list as well and look down all the way down to here, a unique minus is only 1 in 12,000, which is just insane. And if we keep scrolling down, for an exotic plus plus is 1 in 127,000. And I did actually end up getting an exotic before. I don't think it's going to show up anymore on the list, but it was a 1 in 19,000, and that was an exotic minus. And as you can see now, even just putting this luck boost on has brought it all the way down to 1 in 47,000, making it way easier, basically halving the chance basically, or well basically doubling the chance of me getting it more or less, which is absolutely crazy. And even so, if we keep scrolling down, the fact that I have gotten a 1 in 3 million before out of my machine with the molder basically means that I'm on track to probably even getting an eternal minus out of this, because a 1 in 2.5 million honestly isn't that hard if you do play for quite a while. And if you keep going down again for the class list, as you can see, unbreakable is only 1 in 1 million, which honestly is not that bad whatsoever. That will take no time for someone to get. If we keep scrolling down, even on the quality list, a splendid sword, even a fabulous sword, is only 1 in 678,000, which is crazy. So yeah, basically recapping over all this right now, what you need to do is get your machine levels up to as high as possible, as well as going over and making sure that you're playing during the weekend with the update luck also going as well, and also slamming on a nice little luck boost on top of that as well. Now there is one way to get your luck up even further, but this does mostly depend on your machines and whether the fact that you do also have any of the game passes. Now obviously there is the Lucky Game Pass, which does add a nice little boost on top of everything as well. I would definitely recommend getting it. It is quite expensive, but it does do an amazing job in helping everyone get just super lucky, and it also does affect the Ascender upgrades as well, so that is a really good way. And another thing that you're probably going to want is faster machines, just for the fact that then you're going to be making more things out of your machines, which means you've got a better chance of getting something else basically. Faster machines is basically like triple hatch in any other game. You're just basically getting more stuff for the same amount of time basically. And obviously there's one last thing to go over, and that is the machine settings. So obviously the machine settings do actually affect the time it takes for them to go through that specific part. So obviously now my appraiser is currently on 128 times, However, now it's taking 6 seconds instead of a half a second to go through, so that's one thing to note. However, sometimes it can be worth it just spending that little extra 5 seconds to get something through, just for the fact that if we go back over here again, as you can see right now, the eternal minus is currently on 1 in 2.4 million. However, if we quickly change this back over to RNG, it's actually now at 1.2 million. Before it was at 2.4 and now it's at 1.2. So sometimes it can be worth it just to get that extra bit of luck going on your machine. However, I would recommend having faster machines as well as a faster conveyor and stuff, just to make it a little bit easier. But most likely I would recommend you guys basically just have your machine set to instantly, just because that way you're more or less getting everything through instantly, you're getting more swords made and more chance at basically getting things. So yeah, as you can see right now, literally we just made an ultimate plus with all this luck right now. We're also making a ton of ultra swords. Everything's worth like 1 billion above. Some of these things are worth 33 billion, and at some point I probably will get something that's worth like 100 billion, even though we already have here with that ultimate plus. But yeah, that's basically the way to get maximum luck in the game, and I would recommend using all these steps and just making sure that you are playing during the weekend, especially this weekend, the fact that we do have an update luck going on as well. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.